The brain resembles a machine, and of that we have a glimpse. Inside this machine seems to run some sort of computer program or collection of programs, which we call mind. This last one seems to be severely more obscure for many. The mind seems to be built over what we call ideas and concepts, but most of us seems not to be aware of them. We say we are conscious, but still we are bound in ourselves and to our personal implementations of all. Only a few try to be conscious about consciousness. It is of my interest to reduce this gap. I have not lived yet what we would call a long life for a human of today, but I will try to share all I've gathered in terms of knowledge and the best of my wisdom, if any is to be noted. In fact, most will be an insight on how I personally perceive reality at the present moment. We've been fighting each other for too long. As of now, 2017 of the Christian era, I've reached the conclusion that to try inserting onto others what I see as best is not the answer. Through history, it has been attempted many times. Persuasion seems not to be an efficient tool for, it seems, we are still driving ourselves towards our own extinction through conflict advent of divergences. I have seen some concepts of better words, and I am fond of some. The main problem seemingly noted on them is how to achieve consensus to start actually implementing the change. The main actual approach of the time will come when we will be so deeply desperate that we will be sought for change might be valid. Although we might not have the chance, depending on how deep we get ourselves into. The problem doesn't seem to be technological nor ideological, but rather seems to be that we have advanced too far technologically, but not as much ideologically to comprehend the extent of our advancement. The ideas for a better world are simply fit only for those better beings. Unfortunately, these beings tend not to form, whilst we're trapped in a vicious cycle of promoted mediocrity. I do not intend to break down the established socio-economic systems with this work. Again, there are people working on this, and although there might be intersections between them and me, the following might prove useful and enlightening both for a king and for a slave. But still, that's me, and this is not the object of this essay at the moment. Instead, aiming to fill this role, I've reached the conclusion that I should appeal to whatever seems to be common to all and bypass all perceivable barriers. Focus on everything at the same time, trying to align all thoughts from outwards, inwards. I'll do whatever I can on that intent. This is not a religious treaty of any kind, I dare say. Whether you perceive yourself as a religious person or not, this should fit all. I would just advise not to take precipitated assumptions. It is too early. I also do not intend this to be a monologue, as it would hinder my own development as well. The audience is encouraged to ask for clarification and also propose different points of view. Also, I beg to everyone, download all videos, audio and imagery, make copies, share the source and share the copies. As much as I expect everyone to support my attempt in a way or another, behavior has proven something difficult to predict. I cannot be comfortable with the expectation that my attempt won't be interrupted. Making this content survive is of the highest interest. And I sincerely ask, do not change anything though. This job is a convergency of me. I expect it to survive as such. There are many ways for one person to publish their own points of view, and I see all of them as more effective than changing another one's original content. The following will be an attempt to better explain ideas and concepts as taken awareness by me. Those are probably not the truth, if any is to be noted. Rather, again, they are part of the truth as converged upon me. My intention is to add to your awareness the fragments I have gathered. Whether you will want to accept it or not, it seems everything is contained in everything, and everything is composed by everything. I don't intend to be enigmatic though. It has also been attempted many times and it seems to be of little use. All should be clearer as we progress writing this tome, both for me and for you. Warning though, the development of consciousness is likely not equivalent to the development of happiness. It is actually most likely to be a gateway for deception prior to the earning of anything bright. It is a long way and, on today's, a painful one. Consider this carefully before proceeding. I ask of thee, art thou mankind? As communication seems to be a problem prior to understanding, I will follow myself some rules, or rather directives. I will do my best not to infringe them, as they seem to be necessary bounds for the means of this endeavor. Be aware that they might be revised though. 1. Non-attachable feedback will not be replied. If for some reason the viewer feel inclined to aggressively oppose the possibilities being presented for its own sake, I suggest it not to interact with this content. I will answer all attachable feedback with the best of my faculties. That might become not attainable to me if the quantity of interlocutors raises too much. 2. English will be used for it is the most understood language in international terms nowadays. It means I am not communicating at full efficiency, for it is not my native language. 3. The videos should be short for better acceptance. The content will be split and linked to each other as needed. Audience should consider following the linkages to reach a better alignment with the proposed. 4. Interaction as a podcast, listening only, is applicable, for lithographical communication is intended, but it will be done. An audience should consider absorption is better achieved when focused and therefore not split between activities. 5. All content is derived from somewhere. Therefore, I will do my best to list somewhere all published content references to which I have come to converge the information being presented, so audience might try to reach a different view if it seemed needed. Quotes will be made all the time, even though implicitly. If you are a copyrighted content owner, feel free to contact me and expose any discomfort you might have. 6. I should consider listing all published and planned videos somewhere out of the publishing platform. I anticipate progression might prove fuzzy to me and even greatly to audience. Linkages should be updated as the tome progresses. 7. I should avoid worldly subjects, for different cultures and social subsets implement and conserve ideas and concepts differently. It means that I should do my best to avoid cultural biased implementation of the topics and keep focused on the apparent primal structure to which all of this seems to be attached. 0. I might have the same potential for failure as everyone else. I might be wrong. I'm only me trying to reach the closest possible to all. That should not be forgotten, and that should not keep me from trying my approach. I would try to constantly make this clear to audience.